A super duper good morning to all of you. How are you all? Finished enjoying all your holidays, preparing for the group 2. This is a quality good time. Exams are over, results are awaited for CA CMA all. And those who are writing May or June 24, November or December 24 interfinal, all the exams. This today we are starting with the tax amendment series, and it's a live class. There might be some disturbance, but then I don't know, I've got used to, since I've taken Sarthi batch, I cannot just sit and record and then upload. So with all of you, those who are live with us in the Zoom, as well as those who are live, and the chat box is also on here. So if you have any doubt, you can ask quickly now. The purpose of these tax amendment lectures is to help you cover up at least 8 to 10 marks in DT as well as IDT. Okay. So to start with, let me tell you first, direct taxation, whatever amendments are there, I have made it into 3 parts. Today, we are taking 115 BAC, which has been made as a default tax regime. Huh? Our finance minister, she just announced, okay, nothing said. This is the default tax regime. Now it is our target to see every time, okay, this is beneficial, all. So how they will ask you the problems. Have you all taken the printout of the PDF? I've uploaded the PDF in the Telegram. So take a printout, because you know, always when you study with the hard copy, it makes a difference, right? Okay. So today we are going to do 115 BAC along with the concept of total income problem, which they are usually asking in question number 1. Okay, Mr. A, if he pays the tax as per default tax regime, what will be the income? What will be the tax? If he goes for normal tax regime, that is routine slab rate, what will be the income and what will be the tax? Compare, whichever is beneficial, go for that. It's the most important amendment. The second part, when I take the tax amendment lecture, it will be live, and I'm always notifying one day in advance the timing of the live classes in the Telegram group. Okay, right? So do join it. You will get all the material, the booster notes for costing, for taxation, everything over there. Second very important part is the amendments, like leave salary, the limit has been changed to 25 lakhs. Business head 44 AD, some changes. So like this, headwise, all the amendments is the second part. The third part I feel is weightage wise going to be very important. We will cover up 3 most important sections of TDS, in which amendment is there. TDS, TCS, one is 194N for cooperative society. So with example, we will solve that. Then 206C, that overseas tour package and all, in that there is an amendment. And on gaming, now TDS is there from this year. So how this is going to apply, what is the rate, what is the limit, with examples, we will cover up in the third lecture, right? मैम नोट्स तो एक साथ दे दीजिए या एक मैराथन ही ले लीजिए, नहीं. These amendment lectures are first time learning for all of you. You have seen my rapid revision lecture, and thank you so much for the response. More than 1,000 students have viewed that Sarthi rapid revision. That was time I was going fast. You were also absorbing, because it was like, you know, you knew it. You wanted someone to do revision with you, and I have done that for November 23. We'll do that also. All we will do here. Right now, very important is to understand this concept, what I'm teaching today. So I'm going to go slow. Second thing is, in writing, solve the problem, click the picture, send it to me in the Telegram group, and surely I will make the MCQs. There are, you know, 100 MCQs bank, and you can attempt it twice. That's going to be free for all of you, because I really want you all to participate and just see the selection of the problems. One thing I've tried for the first time, I want feedback from all of you. Whatever problems I'm going to solve today, I've given the answers also. Generally, I don't believe. I feel the teacher as well as student should struggle and solve it in the notebook. But I don't know. This time I said, let me try something different. That's what you all always ask, ma'am, इसका आंसर कहाँ है? तो हमने तो आंसर दे दिया है. आप सॉल्व करो नोटबुक में, पिक्चर क्लिक करो, टेलीग्राम में सेंड करो, and then here is your complimentary gift. but that you have to do in the coming 24 hours. After 1 month, you're watching the video and doing? No. Acha, how many of you are watching the video thinking of tax de to diya hai, pass hoga, fail hoga? Whatever it is, professional education is a continuous learning journey. Even we are learning this now. When I qualified as a CA, 115 BAC नहीं था. पढ़ा, notes बनाया, problems उसके develop किए, concepts, all examples we have put, and now we are here. So even if you clear for your internship, for your final preparation, if you don't clear, then you're going to write again for that. So I hope these equations should be very, very clear. What do you say? Is my voice and everything all clear? Can you all put me a message? छुट्टी के मूड में तो नहीं है. बहुत बहुत सारा मटेरियल अपडेट बन रहा है. क्वालिटी गुड क्वेश्चन आंसर बुक इज कमिंग फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू, वेर यू विल लर्न द कॉन्सेप्ट, वेर यू विल सी पास्ट एग्जाम पेपर्स and with all the presentation required. I don't believe in solving every problem with 8-10 notes, because you're not going to write 8-10 notes for a 6 marks residential status problem. Am I right? Chalo. So what is the concept of 115 BAC? Okay. Now see, 115 BAC is the default tax regime. Now this year, till last year, it was called as alternative tax regime. Either you pay the tax as per normal rate or you pay as per 115 BAC. From this year, you have to specifically say that I want to opt out of the default tax regime. Otherwise, your tax, your income, all calculations, computation is going to be as per 115 BAC. Is that clear to all of you? And in 115 BAC from last year to now, this is financial year 23-24, the slab rates have changed. The rebate concept is changed and the surcharge concept is same. मैम इस बार बस उसको डिफॉल्ट बना दिया, बाकी तो लास्ट ईयर के जैसा है, तो ऐसा नहीं है. Right? Okay. So let me share my screen with all of you. And if you wish, you can take all the notes also. Okay? Yeah. In extra, I have given the all slab rates and all routine. There is no much change, but then that I have given it for revision. And if anyone feels no ma'am ये rebate में जो changes आए हैं इसको detail पढ़ना है, तो every Saturday 7 PM to 7:30 I take Magic of Logic live learning series in YouTube. Some concept which is troubling the students, I pick it up and I explain it with example. So there I have explained in the last week only rebate. Upcoming is already decided, so just watch for that space also. And there, if you join live, if you have any query, you can ask me. Okay? Right. Thank you. You all are putting message. How about students who are watching live in YouTube? कर दो comment. थोड़े comment मिलने से हमारा live भी boost हो जाएगा. Right? So it takes a lot of energy to get all this, look at this. All these examples we have got typed with answers and, checking and making this material. This is not routine material. Sathi tax material is separate. This is the amendment lecture I have prepared specifically to give it to all of you, PDF. Okay? Right, chalo. तो शुरू करते हैं इससे. Okay. Your routine tax rates are same for individuals, HUFs. See, I need the comparison. Then only I'll be able to take the 14 marks problem. So your routine tax rates for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP are up to 2,50,000 income is nil, 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. On the next 2,50,000, 5%. 5 lakh to 10 lakh. On the next 5 lakh, 20%. 10 lakhs and above, 30%. Okay? Right. Now, if you are a senior citizen, then instead of 2,50,000, 60 years and above and less than 80 years. For you, the basic exemption is 3 lakh instead of 2,50,000. So 3 lakh to 5 lakh. The first 2 lakh, it is 5%, then 5 to 10, 20, 10 above 30. It's all same. Now, super senior citizen, 80 years and above, up to 5 lakh, it is nil. 5 to 10 lakh, 20%, 10 lakh above, 30%. Done? So this is all for your reference. यहाँ तक कोई change नहीं है. Now the concept of rebate. Rebate is reduction in the tax for those individuals whose total income is up to 5 lakh, not gross total income, total income. Then from the tax, health and education cess nahi lagana hai. Tax में से you have to minus the rebate under section 87A. If the total income is up to 5 lakhs, you will get a rebate of 12,500 up to 12,500. If your tax is 8,000, the rebate will be 8,000. If your tax is say 15,000, you will get a rebate up to 12,500 if your total income is up to 5 lakhs. Okay. And this rebate is allowed only for resident individual. After the rebate, whatever is the tax on that, you will be paying 4% health and education cess to get your tax paid. मैम तो फिर सरचार्ज कब आएगा? When the income exceeds 50 lakhs, then on tax add surcharge and tax plus surcharge pay, health and education cess you will pay. So I hope something very easy, but I have written here, printed दे दिया आपको. Don't do blunders in the exam. Rebate and surcharge both will not come. When you can avail the benefit of rebate under section 87A only in case of resident individual, not even non-resident, not even HUF and all. You can avail a rebate of 12,500 tax provided your total income is up to 5 lakhs. And if the income exceeds 50 lakhs, then you have to pay surcharge. So either rebate will come or surcharge will come. दोनों तो नहीं आएगा. Yeah. Rebate is computed before adding the 4% health and education cess. Okay. Right. Now this rebate is not available in case of special income long-term capital gain on shares under section 112A where STT is charged. वो जो 1 lakh तक free है और फिर 10% है, उस पे you will not get a rebate. Rest all the income. If your total income is up to 5 lakh, definitely you are eligible for a rebate. Done? Right. Now, if you go for default tax regime under 115 BAC, then instead of 12,500, rebate is 25,000 for total income up to 7 lakhs. Ma'am, this you have already covered in Magic of Logic, but then this is important for 115 BAC, which I'll start in another 10 minutes. Okay? So where the total income is up to 7 lakhs, that means how much rebate is there in the default? Total income की limit कितना है? 7 lakhs. Normal में कितना है? 5 lakh. यहाँ पे rebate amount कितना है? It's 25,000. Here how much is the amount? 12,500 for resident individual. Okay? Right? Is this clear to all of you? Okay. So now rebate is allowed in the 115 BAC default tax regime. If your income is up to 7 lakhs, you can claim a rebate of 25,000. There's a concept of marginal relief and unutilized basic exemption, which is already covered in some other lectures also. But why I'm discussing it here is, suppose if your total income exceeds 7 lakhs, say thoda sa, just by little amount, like here 7,15,000, then are you eligible for rebate? No, because rebate is up to 7 lakhs. Because your income has crossed 7 lakhs, okay, because your income has crossed 7 lakhs, sorry, 1 second. Until now, many people are not used to we are taking second. Yeah. So if this is a concept like marginal relief, if your income exceeds 7 lakhs by a very nominal amount, like 7,15,000, okay, and from this time 115 BAC, the slab rates have changed. Up to 3 lakhs, nil. 3 lakh to 6 lakhs, 5%, 15,000. If you are watching this for the first time, abhi next page pe again I'll revise the slab rates. So keep patience. लिसन केयरफुली, वॉच फुल स्क्रीन एंड अच्छे से एकदम आप लैपटॉप में देखो तो बहुत बेटर है, नहीं तो मोबाइल फोन में भी फुल स्क्रीन लगा के देखो, इट विल बी क्लियर टू यू. 6 lakhs, 0 to 3 lakh, nil tax, basic exemption. हम 2 lakh 15 or 115 BAC में 3 lakh. This can be asked in MCQ, है ना? 3 lakh to 6 lakhs में 5%. 6 lakh to 7 lakh 15 में 10%. So your tax is coming to 26,500. Now see, the bad part, you know, in Hindi we call it, अरे ये तो जाती है, ये तो गलत है. When my income is up to 7 lakhs, my tax is nil. And when my income is 7 lakh 15,000, my tax is 26,500 because I'm not getting rebate. Just because I earn 15,000 extra, I'm going to pay 26,500 extra tax. Whatever I have earned over 7 lakhs 15,000, you take it as tax, government. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. But why I should pay tax more than what I have earned extra? I want to repeat. On 7 lakh income, tax is nil. On 7 lakh 15,000, according to the rate I taught, 26,500. So increase in income 15,000, increase in tax 26,500. ये तो गलत है ना? So now 26,500 minus 15,000. 15,000 you keep it as tax. But the difference of this 2 minus 1, this much I want a rebate. Write this example in your notebook and practice, either in case studies for CA students, MCQs for CMA students, somewhere they'll touch. And all my final students, CMA final, just we have completed the batch for duty, and all the lectures I have put in YouTube. Only for the material and chapter wise exam, you need to download the Concept Classes app. But if you're watching this, 115 BAC is very, very important, right? Now, so if the step 2 is more than step 1, then 11,500 is the rebate under section 87A what we want. Now what is the tax payable? Tax payable is 26,500. I have asked for a rebate. So okay, whatever I have earned above 7 lakhs 15,000, that I'll pay as tax, and on that 4% cess also. So I hope one thing is like chew करके खा जाना है, बिल्कुल digest कर लेना है कि rebate पहले minus होगा, and on the balance tax you will add 4% ECESS. Surcharge you add first and then ECESS. Clear to all of you? Right. So that's the concept of rebate. I'll again repeat it. I have given this all for reference, but there is no change in the tax rate for companies, firms and all. Special income like long-term capital gain 20%, on shares 10%. Casual income में इस साल add हो गया है, gaming, gambling, all that 30%. Undisclosed sources. So many times this is asked in MCQs, but no, nothing has changed. 78%, right? Okay. Now there's a small change. Rebate one part is over. Then I'll go to change in the surcharge rate. And then I'll go to, and then I'll be starting with 115 BAC with quality good problem. If some of you are feeling my speed is slow, it has to be actually. Still you can comment below everything is clear or not. थोड़ा हमारा भी मोटिवेशन बढ़ा दो, बाकी सब काम छोड़ के when we take live classes we can expect some comment. AC all clear, NC not clear. It's not all comment, whatever you feel, but give the feedback. चलिए आगे. Yeah. Surcharge rate, 2 minutes, all of you listen. On total income, tax is calculated. On tax, surcharge is calculated. And tax plus surcharge pay, health and education cess is there 4%. Surcharge rates are different according to the different total income. and the highest surcharge rate is 37%, which is still there in the normal tax rate and normal whatever you pay the tax as per your old scheme, you can say. If you are going for 115 BAC, that's the default tax regime, highest surcharge rate is only 25%. 37% नहीं लगेगा. 2 crore to 5 crore, 25%. 5 crore and above, 37%. Here, 5 crore and above income also, 25%. That's the small, beautiful change in the surcharge rates. Now it's the time to talk about MMR. मैम ये सुना है, ये MCQ में काफी बार आ चुका है. Maximum marginal rate of tax. Will this change? Yes. Let me share the screen and show you how it will change. Yeah, this one I was discussing. Maximum marginal rate means the rate of tax including surcharge and cess applicable for the highest slab of income individuals are paying. What is the highest rate of tax individual is paying? 30%. Highest rate of surcharge on tax? 25% in case of default tax regime. और tax plus surcharge पे cess कितना लगेगा? Health and education cess 4%. So are you all with me? Your default tax regime, it says maximum, matlab highest rate of tax individual will pay on 100 rupees is 30% tax. That's 30. On 30, on tax surcharge is calculated 25%, that's 7.5. So 37.5. On this 4%. I hope you all are using your calculator. If you know this trick, exam में भी आप कर लोगे. 37.5 पे 104%. It's coming to 1.5 and so 39%. So in MCQs, if they ask you what is the maximum marginal rate of tax under the default tax regime, 115 BAC, 39%. Under the old, that is your normal tax rate, आज भी 30% tax है. On that 37%, highest rate of tax is 30%. Highest rate of surcharge is 37. And on that ECESS is 4%, 42.74. I know I'm covering too many things, but then this is the background for the 115 BAC, which I'm starting now. ये सब जरूरी है. तभी when I solve the problem, you'll be able to say. You'll be able to compare also. One second, dear students. चलिए साथ में. Thank you, thank you. So MMR concept is clear. This is clear. Any doubts you have? Listen, dear students. कोई doubt छोटा बड़ा नहीं है. Click the picture. Send me in the Telegram with the topic for tax, for costing. Abhi I'm not teaching accounts, but accounts I got 95. Definitely, it's on my tips. Hire purchase, branch accounting. If you have some doubt, if you feel I can help you, but send me the problem clearly and exactly what is your confusion. I'll definitely clear. If you watch my Magic of Logic live series 7 p.m. every Saturday, last time I covered bed debt. Bed debt का भला होगा नहीं, यही डाउट था स्टूडेंट को, वही पढ़ा दिया. Rebate I have covered and upcoming also, wait and watch. All right, so that's the change in the surcharge. Surcharge में कुछ और भी है, that I will discuss now in last. Let us begin for the default tax regime 115 BAC. Ma'am, I don't want to pay as per this. Then you have to intimate and move out. If you move out, then you cannot move in if you are having a business income. You cannot do off and on. If you don't have business income, every year you have a choice. You want to go for default tax regime or you want to go for your normal tax, right? Now, the important amendment is in 115 BAC, the slab rate still last year was every 2,50,000 income increases, the tax was changing by 5%. Right now, they have changed it to 3 lakhs. So up to 3 lakhs, it is the basic exemption. 3 lakh to 6 lakhs, 5% tax in the default tax regime. 6 lakh to 9 lakh, on the next 3 lakh, 10%. 9 lakh to 12 lakh, on the next 3 lakh, 15%. 12 lakh to 15 lakh, 20%. And above 15 lakhs, it's not 25%. 15 lakh ke upar directly 30%. If you talk about normal tax rate, then above 10 lakhs only it is 30%. Am I right, dear students? That's why I covered those tax rate first. Normal. And this is. So when I solve the problem, it's a challenge. So beautifully you will follow. After doing the concept, you are going to solve a problem also. कि इसको कैसे apply करोगे? But promise me you will watch this lecture 2 to 3 times unless this concept goes in your DNA. And after the exam, message me, ma'am, what you taught came for 14 marks, question number 1 only. That's my this thing that surely 2 decades I have been teaching PCC IPC, तो उतना तो समझ में आता है. Tax rate समझ में आए? 0 to 3 lakh nil, 3 to 6 5%, 6 to 9 मूवी के शो के टाइम नहीं चल रहे हैं, स्लैब रेट्स हैं. 6 to 9 lakhs 10%, 9 to 12 lakh 15%, 12 lakh and 15 lakh say 20%, above 15 lakhs it's 30%. Okay, right. Rebate for income up to 7 lakhs under 787A, and tax will be nil for total income up to 7 lakh. Under the normal tax regime, it's still 12,500. Rebate already I've told you the comparison. If some of you have joined now, then right now continue. After this, you can go back. And please subscribe the channel. Most of my revision lectures, top 50 questions, MCQs, case studies, all is going to be a live class. तो हम रिकॉर्ड करेंगे पॉज कर करके फिर अपलोड करेंगे, वो नहीं होगा. जो होगा सामने सामने है, so that you can also clear your doubts simultaneously. There's a different kind of beautiful feeling when you watch the lecture live with a teacher. I'm telling you that will genuinely. आप जो बोलते हैं ना कि मैम इधर तो करते हैं, एग्जाम में नहीं कर पाते हैं, करेज नहीं आता है, ये होता है क्योंकि रूटीन में built it step by step like this. Okay, Dipti ma'am has put a message, she's going to take a class. I'm telling you, it was next to impossible for me to take a class today. Honestly, I'm telling you. I'm not saying you in detail what's going on, but something, lot of emergencies. Mother-in-law being in the next room bedridden and the caretaker is missing. Another support system is missing. So something कि चलो आज छोड़ देते हैं या सुबह का शाम में ले लेते हैं, वो एक्सक्यूज में मजा नहीं है, करने में मजा है. थोड़ा इधर उधर आगे किया, थोड़ा पीछे कर लेंगे, बट ये तो करना है. और ये जब करोगे ना तो 3 घंटा एग्जाम में भी परफॉर्म कर पाओगे, ट्रस्ट मी. ओके, चलो लेट अस कंटिन्यू नाउ. So first change in 115 BAC from financial year 23-24 is in the tax rates. Next is rebate for income up to 7 lakhs. Okay, it will be nil and all, I have told you. Now standard deduction which was allowed from salary only in case of normal tax structure, not in default. So even if you are filing your return in default tax regime, you can avail standard deduction from gross salary up to 50,000. Family pension, when the employee is deceased and family members receive pension, it is taxable in income from other sources with a deduction of 15,000 or 1/3, whichever is lower. So that deduction is currently available only in the normal tax regime. Now it will be allowed in default tax regime also. Done? So is this very clear to all of you? समझ में आ रहा है आप सबको? Right. And then tax reduction. Highest surcharge rate 37% is reduced to 25%. Okay, only in case of default tax regime. If you are opting out of default tax regime and you're paying normal income, pay normal tax, then highest surcharge rate is 37%. Right? As per section 115 BAC, individuals HUF, COP, BOI, AJP have an option to pay the tax as per default. So who can go for default tax regime? Individual. मैंने इसलिए इसको already भी underline किया. HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Done. Done. Ma'am, can the partnership firm go for default tax regime? No, because they are paying flat 30% tax. Cooperative society, no. Companies, no. So default tax regime is only applicable for. Why I'm highlighting these small points, dear students? I'm going to cover a 14 marks question as well as MCQs. तो सब चीज अच्छे से करना है. हाँ, देयर इज नो सब्स्टिट्यूट टू हार्ड वर्क. तो सब करना है, सब पढ़ना है. मैम, आप तो सब अच्छा ही पढ़ा देते हो. पिछली बार भी सारथी बैच यूट्यूब में लिया, 32 लेक्चर्स डाले हमने पढ़े, लेकिन हमको याद नहीं रहता है. बिकॉज यू आर नॉट रिपीटिंग, डियर स्टूडेंट्स. Few things, tax is very vast. Leave off 54 EC 54 F, तीन ही कैपिटल गेन पढ़ो. 54 GB GA छोड़ दो. बट जो पढ़ रहे हो, that you need to repeat. Okay, now up to 3 lakhs it's nil. 3 lakh to 6 lakh 5%, 6 lakh to 9 lakh 10% on the next. 3 lakh 9 lakh to 12 lakh 15%, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 20%, above 15 lakh it's 30%. Now, if you are opting for 115 BAC, you cannot go for AMT. What is AMT? Alternative minimum tax. You cannot go for that. Okay? 18.5% and some concept you have learned, no, separately AMT. That you cannot go for if you are filing your return under or you are opting for 115 BAC. Rebate will be available up to 7 lakhs. Yeah. Surcharge is there. Yeah. When you go for 115 BAC, ma'am, 80 years and above 5 lakh ka basic exemption and no. Whether you are senior citizen, super senior citizen, non-resident, 115 BAC for everyone, the slab rates are same. Even if you are 82 years, if you are filing in the return under 115 BAC default tax regime, basic exemption will be 3 lakh. Okay. New income tax regime will be default regime unless SSC opts for normal. And deductions will be allowed. Ma'am, वही ऊपर लिखा फिर यहीं लिखा. Yeah, so it is important. School teachers, they make you understand, then they make you learn, then they make you digest. chew कर जाना है. तो इसीलिए हमने कुछ चीजें repeat किए. Now, if you go for 115 BAC, you cannot avail certain exemptions and deductions. What are they? Leave travel concession, 2 travels. Excuse me. 2 travels in the 4 years and all, not allowed. House rent allowance, rent paid minus 10% salary and all, not allowed. Exemption in respect of special allowances, to meet expenses relating duty and all. 10-14 mein some exemptions are allowed, no. Daily allowance and all for MPs and MLAs, no exemption. Exemption for minor, per minor child, if the income is clubbed with the parents, for every minor child, the parent can claim an exemption of 1500 per child if he is paying tax as per normal tax regime. If you are going for default, nahi milega. If you have a printout, write all this. ये MPs और MLAs को daily allowance नहीं मिलेगा, बाकी को मिलेगा. So do this 3D 5D makeup, I call it, of your material. Section 10AA is most important for AMT also. What is section 10AA? Your total turnover, total profit, export turnover of the SEZ, proportionate 50%, 100%. वो नहीं मिलेगा if you are filing the return under default tax regime. Standard deduction, yes, it's allowed. What is not allowed? Entertainment allowance exemption for government employees is given, wo nahi milega. Profession tax deduction you cannot claim. But yes, transport allowance for handicapped, it's like 3,200 per month. If a person is handicapped and he is getting transport allowance, he can claim that exemption. Conveyance allowance to and fro office is exempt. Daily allowance is normally exempt. It's not exempt only for MPs and MLAs. And standard deduction, this is the most important amendment. Isko 5-star khilao, Kit Kat khilao. Standard deduction, of course you will get. Okay? Now, Interest on loan in case of the self-occupied property, GAV is nil, NAV is nil, whatever interest you have paid, we show it as loss. That loss you are not allowed if you are filing your return under 115 BAC. मैम ऐसे क्यों करते हैं? अरे कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना है. The tax rates are so low. Normal is 2.5 to 5 lakh 5%, 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%, 10 lakh above 30%, yeah, 15 lakh above 30%. They are giving you a lot of benefit in the tax rates, no? So definitely they are expecting that some exemptions and benefits they will not give. So are they allowed to show loss in the self-occupied property? No. Depreciation is allowed. यहाँ पे लिखो. But additional depreciation for a manufacturing unit, 10% of the plant and machinery and all that is not allowed. Next, scientific research के लिए you give donations to notified universities, colleges and all not allowed. 35 AD, investment linked, tax incentives. 35 AD याद है आप सबको? Specified businesses, fertilizers and warehousing and 2-star and above hotel and multi-speciality hospital with. So 35 AD a deduction will not be given if you are opting for default tax regime and you are having a business income. 35 triple C in case of notified agricultural project and all you are getting deduction, that will not be allowed. हाँ, इस पे you can expect a lot of questions. If you are filing your return under default tax regime, then 80C, PPF, 80D, Mediclaim, 80E interest, all those chapter 6A deductions will not be allowed. मैम तो फिर ग्रॉस टोटल इनकम ही टोटल इनकम होगा क्या? नो, you will be allowed 3 deductions in the default tax regime. In normal tax regime, 80C, 80D, 80G donation sab le lo, take all. But if you are filing your return under default tax regime, you can claim 80CCD2, employers contribution to national pension scheme, Atal Pension Yojana and all that. 80CCH2, this is newly started this year. There's an Agniveer Corpus Fund maintained, and there if the central government is contributing for their employees, they can claim a deduction. Iska detail I will cover up in the second tax amendment lecture, that is on all the other heads amendment and deductions. And as I said, the third one will be for the TDS and TCS. But before that, you have to subscribe the channel, you have to like the video if you really like it, and you have to comment. Please comment, please share this so that our efforts are also being more fruitful, and within 24 hours help me reach a different level of audience, all new also, along with you, those who believe that conceptual learning is थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है बट वो सबसे बेस्ट है, एग्जाम में रटना नहीं है, तो आप उनको भी हमारे चैनल के साथ जोड़ो. Right? Once again, I want to repeat. As I said, कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना है. So you are paying the tax as per 115 BAC less, up to 3 lakh nil, 3 lakh to 6 lakh 5% and so on. In that case, you will not be allowed leave travel allowance. You will not be allowed HRA. You will not be allowed daily allowance for MPs and MLAs. Section 10 AA SEZ and all. Entertainment allowance, profession tax, and yeah, all these allowances. But of course, standard deduction will be allowed. Interest on loan for self-occupied property not allowed. You can't show a loss. Normal depreciation allowed as per the WDV method. Additional depreciation not allowed. Deduction in respect of scientific research and all not allowed. 35 AD not allowed. Notified agricultural project not allowed. And deductions under chapter 6A, that is from gross total income to total income, your journey, only 3 are allowed. 80CCD2, employers' contribution to NPS, 80 CCH2, employers' contribution to Agniveer Corpus Fund, the detail of which I'll say next time, and new employment if you are generating 80 JJE. ये तीन मिलेंगे, ठीक है? Right. Certain losses cannot be carry forward. Carry forward or depreciation from earlier if such loss or depreciation is attributable to above or to house property with any other heads not allowed. अब इसको समझने के लिए I'll have to write example. Suppose from financial year 2021 I have brought forward loss 5 lakh rupees which is for additional depreciation. Old depreciation and additional depreciation could not be absorbed, and you all know depreciation loss can be carried forward for indefinite period to be set off in any hands except one. Salary and business head are not best friends. दोनों एक दूसरे से बात नहीं. मैम आप क्या पढ़ा रहे, कहाँ चले गए? This is the way you have to link up the topic. What last 5 minutes I've told you the dialogue, that is in set off and carry forward of losses. फिर से एक बार. Financial year 2021, I have from there brought forward loss of 5 lakhs related to additional depreciation. Now, is additional depreciation allowed in our financial year 23-24? No. So suppose if my business income is 15 lakhs, shall I set off brought forward loss due to additional depreciation? No. So the gist is, if some expenses are not allowed related to that expense, loss brought forward is also not allowed. Once again, is scientific research allowed? No. So earlier years brought forward loss of scientific research. Can you set off now? No. This year's scientific research is only not allowed in default tax regime. Why will I set off the earlier year's loss? Yeah. Same way, depreciation is allowed, but additional depreciation not allowed. Okay. Right. This, if you understand the example, fine. If not, you can leave. Some in-depth I have given. Now, for the MCQs, they can ask you, if there is no business income, you may make a choice every year whether you want to file your return as per default tax regime or normal. If you are having business income, then you have to decide and file it in the default tax regime. If you opt out of default tax regime and you are having business income, again you cannot opt in unless now you have stopped receiving business income. Are you getting? Business income एक ही बार decide करो, default या normal. Ma'am, default. करते रहो. If you come out of default, no, this year I want to pay normal, you can't opt in again. Who? Business income वाले लोग. Other than business income, every year. So normally, practically, I am telling you, if you work in the offices where returns are filed, you must have seen HUF and all having some other source income, house property income. They go for default tax regime because every year they can decide, okay, this is beneficial. So ma'am, the way you have calculated taxes, it's running into pages. Should we calculate for every SSC? All this is done in software. Right. Conditions for employee opting for 115 BAC. If you're opting for default tax regime, you need to inform your employer. Who? Employee should inform to employer that, okay, I want to go for default tax regime, deduct TDS accordingly. Or I want to file my return normal, उस हिसाब से काटो. If not, no instruction is given to the employer. Employer is going to deduct tax as per default tax regime. ठीक है? Right. Acha, ma'am, I told to my employer to deduct tax as per the 115 BAC. But now I want to file my return other than 100. Can I do so? Answer is yes, allowed. Ma'am, what are you teaching? These are like practical points. They may ask you for 1 marks. Tell me, is the amendment clear? Shall we third time again put it in gist? First change in 115 BAC is the tax rates. Okay. Up to 3 lakh basic exemption. Ma'am, for 82 years old uncle, will they give 5 lakh? No. If you file your return under 115 BAC, see, these are the questions twisted in MCQs. You will have the same basic exemption of 3 lakh for all the SSCs. Individual HUF सबके में 3 to 6 lakh, 5 lakh, 6 lakh to 9 lakh, 10%, 9 lakh to 12 lakh, 15%, and so on. ठीक है? Right. Now, if you go for this new tax regime, surcharge rate is dropped down from 37% to 25%, highest surcharge rate. And now you will not claim certain deductions and all, but standard deduction milega, family pension milega, normal depreciation you will get, additional you will not get. You can't show a loss in self-occupied property. Scientific research and specified businesses under 35D, no. And chapter 6 से ATC, ATD, ATE, ATU कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. Donation ATG नहीं मिलेगा. क्या मिलेगा? Only ATCCD2, employers contribution to NPS, National Pension Scheme. ATCCH2, employers contribution to Agniveer Corpus Fund. And ATJJAA when you are generating new employment. Yeah, right. Once again, I want to repeat, if you have a business income, only once you can opt in and continuously file your return every year in default tax regime. Ma'am, no, I don't want to file in default. I want to come out. Okay, come out, you can't opt in. Where? In business. If you're not having business income, every year you can compare. That's what I'm expecting, a 14 marks question, whether you're writing CA or CMA exam. We are going to solve it now. Okay? Right. Yeah, this is the problem. Check it. पहली बार मैंने answers भी दिए, नहीं तो दीप्ति मैम, those who have done Sarthi batch with me last year, I have taken in-depth classes in YouTube with all the concepts and all the questions solved, but question के answers नहीं दिए हम. Those who want to check the videos, please check the demo videos. They are not demo, but they are all covering up everything. Sarthi taxation batch for November and December 23. Ma'am, that is enough. Then why we should join your practice batch? That is for last year. If you can manage with those videos and amendments, please go for that. But if you want to meet me one-to-one every day, then check the poster in the YouTube and Telegram. And we are starting next week taxation practice batch where all the concepts will be taught, all the problems from CA. This is from CMA material. And the next one is from the CA material. So all combine what I feel, because nowadays lot of trend is there and they are asking question from institutes material. So let us make it very perfect, and default tax regime we should have a grip on. I request all of you to watch full screen and to watch it again one more time. Okay, right. I'll also be taking up past exam questions if you join the income tax Sarthi practice batch. Costing will start in March first week for sure. Chalo. Arhan is 35 years and he has decided to calculate his income and tax. Okay. Now, what is the business income? 15 lakhs. Please comment below you want to solve it in writing or with this solution it is okay. Check it and let me know. Whether you go for normal tax, that is you opt out of the default tax regime, or you go for default tax regime. Comment. In YouTube also you can comment, please. It's absolutely okay. Yeah. ठीक है, चलो वैसे करते हैं. Done. Saving bank account interest is there, 12 lakhs. That will come in income from other sources. Interest on PPF, 36,000 PPF interest is received, which is exempt. So what is your gross total income in case of normal? This. In default also, same. Now, you have put 1,50,000 in PPF. So if you are paying tax under normal tax regime, you will claim 80C deduction, maximum up to 1,50,000 for PPF. And because you have earned saving account interest under section 80 TTA, saving account interest is exempt ATTTA कितना? Up to 10,000. And if you are a senior citizen, then in ATTTB, saving plus FD interest will be exempt, and that will be exempt up to 50,000. No one will say you in exam. This you have to remember, dear students. Okay? Right. So where will I take the deduction? In the normal. What about default? No. No deductions are allowed. Ma'am, just now you said, yeah, 80 CCH allowed hai, 80 CCD employees contribution allowed hai, par wo to hai nahi. So what's the total income normal? 13,52,000. What's default? 15 lakh. Now take a pause and tell me, is Arhan eligible for rebate? Answer is no. Normal में the rebate comes if your total income is up to 5 lakh. His total income is above 5 lakh. Rebate नहीं मिलेगा. 115 BAC में if the total income is above 7 lakhs नहीं मिलेगा, because here the income is crossing 7 lakhs. अच्छा, shall we add surcharge? No, because if the income exceeds 50 lakhs, तो ही surcharge. I am working exactly with the mindset how students should think in exam. ये आएगा नहीं, चलो आगे चलते हैं. Are you clear? As a teacher, I can solve it in my way and overtake and do it very smartly. That's not it. The way you read an exam, the way you write it. And if you see my Sarthi taxation batch material, it's the way students should write an exam. Minimum notes and proper neat presentation, which will help you get good marks. Chale aage? Right. Now 13,52,000 normal tax rate. Basic exemption 250 nil. Next 250 5%. Up to 2,50,000 nil. 2,50,000 to 5 lakh 5%. 5 lakh to 10 lakhs. On the next 5 lakh 20%, that's 1 lakh. And above 10 lakhs, this is the normal tax regime. So above 10 lakhs, that is 13,52,000. 3,52,000 पे 30%. देखो 3,52,000 पे 30%. Okay. So what is your tax? Total tax coming to 2,18,100. Somewhere commas are there, somewhere it's missing. See, these are very small tasks. Though I give instructions to all my team कि इसमें commas डालो, यहाँ rupees का sign डालो, ये check करो, वो check करो. But once you prepare costing and accounts material, it's done. Income tax is, Dipti ma'am, where were you? What were you doing November when we were writing exam? It's like adding the best of the material and examples, I can say. It's really tough. On tax, 4% TCES, and then tax is rounded off to multiples of 10. So if it's 2420, if it is 2830. So this is your normal tax. Chalo. Now under default tax regime, 15 lakh 12,000. How will you calculate the tax? First 3 lakh nil. Next 3 lakh 5%, 15,000. Next 3 lakh 10%, 30,000. Next 3 lakh 15, 45. So 12 lakhs तक cover हो गए, 3 lakhs. Next 3 lakh 20%. Now till here I have already covered 15 lakhs. Above 15 lakhs 12,000 pay 30%. That is 3,600. And on that 4% says this is the tax rounded off to multiples of 10. So 159 740 is my tax under default tax regime, though income is same in both the cases. And in normal tax, it is 22,6820, 2,26,820. So which one is better? Arhan should opt for default tax regime. Tell me. Just 2 minutes, I'll be break. I don't believe, as I said, in recording the classes. Stay connected. Next problem is more beautiful. What is your normal tax? What is your this? Compare and do it. But 2 minutes, I need to take a break. If you want also, you also take a break. And exactly look your watches in 3 minutes. We will continue doing the next problem. Until then, you have doubt in this problem also, you can ask. Thank you so much for waiting. Are you all back? Yes. Comment below, did you understand the problem or not? Calculate your normal income with all the deductions and set off of the losses. Here, the losses are not allowed to be set off. One more thing, if I have missed out, in self-occupied, you cannot show a loss. Yeah, the second point. Under house property, losses are not allowed to be set off with any other heads. So if house 1 there is a loss, house 2 there is a profit, can we set off in the default tax regime? Yes. But house property mein you cannot show loss. वैसे भी in the normal tax regime also, how much loss you can bring it in the outer column for house property? 2 lakh. 2 lakh tak. Only up to 2 lakh loss you can set off. So first calculate the income with all the deductions, in default without all deductions and all. And then normal income pe calculate tax as per normal slab rates. Default pe you calculate as per 3 lakh and all this. And whichever is beneficial, go for it. This is the level of the problem exactly you can expect. Okay. See, Mr. A aged 32 years. Anyhow, age doesn't matter, because if you're paying taxes per default tax regime, even if Mr. A is 82 years, he will get 3 lakh basic exemption. So he's working with basic salary 50,000 per month. So 6 lakh. He has received transport allowance of 15,000 per month. So 1,80,000. House rent allowance he has received 20,000. 2,40,000. Ma'am, house rent allowance mein can you claim 1013A? No, because we are calculating tax and income as per the default tax regime, that is 115 BAC. Now, what's your gross salary? 10,20,000. Done? Okay. So now standard deduction. Will you allow standard deduction under the default tax regime? Yes. So what is your taxable salary? 9,70,000. Now, next they have said he has paid rent and all, that we will check that too in Delhi. For normal tax rate, hum use karenge. Mr. A has paid interest 2,10,000 for the housing loan for Mumbai, construction of which was completed in the March 24, and his parents are living. So housing loan ka interest. Will you claim a deduction here? No. In default tax regime, self-occupied property, you cannot show a loss. So not allowed. So what's your gross total income? 970. Now, he has put the money in PPF and pension and mediclaim and all. Any deduction is allowed? No. So what is your income? 970. Gross total and total. Up to 3 lakh, nil. 3 lakh to 6 lakhs. Next 3 lakh pay 5%, 15,000. 6 lakh to 9 lakh. Next 3 lakh pay 10%, 30,000. 9 lakh to 970 on the next 70,000, 50% this and this. So what's your tax in the default tax regime? 57,720. Now normal. Normal you have basic, you have transport allowance. Transport allowance exemption is allowed only to handicapped. So not allowed. HRA receipt. Now, in normal, can you claim the exemption under section 1013A? Yes, least. Number 1, actual HRA receipt. Rent paid minus 10% of salary. What is the rent paid? आपको बताया ना per month rent कितना पे किया था उसने. He is paying a rent of 25,000. So 25,000 into 12. 3 lakh rupees is the rent paid minus 10% of this salary. So actual HRA received, rent paid minus 10% of salary or 50% of salary. Why 50%? Because he's in Delhi. Other than metros, it's 40%. So least is exempt. So least is 2,40,000. वो तो exempt हो गया, ये आ गया आपका gross salary. स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन मिलेगा 50,000, 7,30,000 आ गया your salary. Now, in your normal tax regime, can you show in self-occupied property interest as a loss? Yes. But how much is interest? 2,10,000. What's the upper limit? In self-occupied property, you cannot show loss more than 2 lakh. So you will show 2 lakh loss. Gross total income 5,30,000. Deductions. ATC. ATC. Contribution to PPF 1,50,000. Yeah, he's put the money in PPF 1,50,000. Pension scheme ATCCD 50,000. Okay. Payment of medical insurance for father is 55,000, but for parents, how much is allowed being senior citizen? 50,000. For self and spouse, 32,000, but how much is allowed? 25,000. If you are also senior, then mediclaim for the individual 50 and for the parents also 50. Ma'am, you are doing everything in one single lecture. So this is how it has to be learned. And please let me know you want to solve it in writing. Then in the next lecture, I will start by solving this in writing and then continue the next amendment. Contribution to PPF 1,50,000. Own contribution to pension scheme ATCCD 1B. National Pension Scheme mein what you contribute. But ma'am, there they had written ATCCD. If you take ATCCD and ATC, there's a upper limit of 1,50,000 which is already over. So can you take this as contribution separately under ATCCD 1B? Yes. Now this how it comes, you need to check once. ATD, mediclaim for self and spouses 32 but allowed till 25. For parents, it's 55 but allowed till 50. So what's the total income? Yeah, 2,55,000. On 2,50,000, 250 to exempted. 5,000 pay, 5% tax. 5,000 pay 5%, 250 rupees. And he will get a rebate because his income, total income is less than 5 lakh. So he will get a rebate. So nil. Now, what's the tax under default? 57,720. What's the tax under regular? Nil. Is he having a business income? No. Then he can make a choice. Since tax liability as per normal provision is lower than under default, it's beneficial for Mr. A to opt out of default tax regime. Acha ma'am, next time can he go for default? Yes, because he's not having business income, he can go. Yeah. In normal tax regime, he is entitled for 1013A. है ना, क्यों नॉर्मल में टैक्स कम क्यों आया? Because interest on loan deduct किया, HRA, house rent allowance, there it's fully taxable. Here you have claimed the exemptions. Okay, so it is less and you can go for it. There are 3 more problems to be solved in our regular batch, but I hope this is clear. Okay, solve it in writing, ask me your doubts. Coming back to surcharge, highest surcharge rate in case of the default tax regime is 25%, otherwise 37%. देखो, individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. If the income exceeds 50 lakhs to 1 crore, surcharge rate is 10%. 1 to 2 crore, 15%. 2 crore, 2 crore. Okay, excluding some income, which I will say. If it exceeds 2 crore to 5 crore, 25%. Above 5 crore, 37%. Applicable for other than default tax regime. Matlab, if you are filing your return in default tax regime and suppose your total income is 8 crores, what will be the highest surcharge rate? 25%. 2 crore pe bhi, 5 crore pe bhi, 8 crore pe bhi. हाँ, but out of default tax regime, 2 to 5 crore, 25%. Above 5 crore अगर income है तो पूरे tax पे the surcharge will be 37%. I've repeated this 2-3 times in the last 1 hour. So those who have joined late, watch the video from the beginning. I don't know how much time I'll keep this video. I'm literally saying because then students are not coming in the study mode. So I'm really sorry. to be this strict, but lot of efforts I have made in making this material, Sarthi material, and bringing on these problems and examples. And chappar 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 last 1 ghante se I'm saying, missing out all my other work. So if you feel you have got some worth, comment below video, share it with your friends, take the notes. I won't keep it for a longer time. Okay? There are other surcharge rates and all clear. Now, ma'am, you said for the default tax regime, surcharge rate highest is 25%. For others, 37%. Now, there are some income wherein the highest surcharge rate is only 10 and 15%. Which one? Short-term capital gain on shares, 111A. Long-term capital gain on shares, dividend income, and long-term capital gain. On these income, highest surcharge rate is only 15%. Forget about 25% and 37%. They are not applicable. Okay? For normal tax regime, the surcharge is 25% if the total income exceeds 2 crore to 5 crore, and it is 37%. But for default tax regime, it's 25%. But these four income, it's not even 25, it's 15. Ma'am, so if I have dividend income 8 crores, what will be the surcharge rate? 15%. Ma'am, ये कहाँ पूछेंगे? So this is all going to be asked in your MCQs. Okay? Any doubts you have while watching? And some of you are getting a feeling of overwhelmed. मैम तो सब ठीक ठाक ही पढ़ा रहे हैं, पर मुझे ना bouncer जा रहा है, तो it's absolutely okay. I have also studied this a lot, then made the material, and the problems which I have solved, I have repeated and taken up the figures which will give you exact comparison. But 14 marks problem, your MCQs, your case studies, all is covered in this lecture. And if you want these notes where I have solved answers also, then join the Telegram group. I've already shared it yesterday. Again, after this live class, I'll share. And as I said earlier, all my classes are going to be live in YouTube for tax amendment lecture 2, for all the other heads and deductions, 3 for TDS and TCS amendments, 4 for the GST amendments, like this. They're all going to be live in YouTube, and there's a different kind of courage you will develop when you do it live with a teacher. That's a commitment. You will get the message. And next week, that is January 2nd week, we are starting with Sarthi taxation practice batch. You know, once you enroll with me, that is your decision. Enroll karna ya nahi karna, aap socho. But if you feel no, you understand my concept, you have watched those 32 lectures last also what we took, and everything is clear, and once you enroll, it is my duty to make you understand the concept, make you learn, make you independent solver. And every Sunday chapter wise exams will be there, daily 2.5 hour classes will be there. So register for this batch, details are there in the community Telegram everywhere, and this early bird offer will not be extended. Okay, so charges, timings, material is inclusive, hard copy you will get, everything is written in the brochure. So check it. Lots of best wishes. Stay connected with this channel. Today is Thursday. Saturday 7 p.m. every Saturday we are taking live series Magic of Logic, wherein some concept which is very important, very crucial, confusing for student, you can check up already 11 to 12 series lectures which are over. And anytime I have done a lot of improvement with all the suggestions what students give me, because it's not how good I teach and how commanding I am in taxation. It is you solve the problem, you get results, you move ahead in your life with the conceptual knowledge, with the practical knowledge, make a bridge and go, right? Thank you so much. That's all for this live session. Thank you. See you all in the next live lecture, Tax Amendment Lecture 2. Bye-bye. Do share it and do comment below, please. That motivates us also. And that gives a boost to this lecture within 24 hours if we receive those.